Hey, I've been meaning to ask, why does the bird wear a tiny hat? My name is Matthew Kroll.
And the leather has betrayed us. My name is Shahir Dowd.
And this is the only podcast about movies, specifically the film KPop, A Demon Hunters.
It's certainly a title.
It is. It is the best title.
Doesn't it feel like an algorithmically correct title?
Sure. Listen, a broken Netflix is right twice a day.
Right.
Obviously.
Nimona, this, Arcane. Is Arcane on Netflix?
Arcane is on Netflix.
Yeah. Is Arcane
great.
a Netflix produced thing? Because this is not a Netflix produced thing. Right?
No, I don't believe so.
This is a Netflix acquisition. Yeah. Yeah. Between all of that, yeah, you're right. Netflix does win several times a year. And, we're here to talk about it.
Yeah. This movie, also, hi, everybody. How are you?
Welcome.
We don't know when this episode will air, but here we are in your brains, ready to talk about, to be perfectly honest, and I'll betray my opinion early on, a very surprising movie for me.
Right.
So the reason why this movie even came up, I don't watch a ton of Netflix anymore, to be perfectly honest. I've just sort of fallen off. I'm either playing video games at this point or watching back episodes of Deep Space Nine. That's kind of where I'm at media landscape wise. It's not the most current.
You do sound a lot like young Sheldon, by the way.
Well, can I at least, oh God, I don't want to sound like young Sheldon. I mean, it's the only thing holding that company up. This movie came across my desk through a couple people over on Nebula, specifically Nando.
Okay.
Nando was singing its praises quite a bit. And I decided one day, I just got a new projector. I didn't even tell you this.
Oh my God.
I got a new projector.
Huge.
I know. And
what'd you do with your old projector?
It's right over there. You can see it.
Oh wow.
Look at
that.
And I wanted to kind of test it.
Is it a 4K projector?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, as soon as this podcast is over, you know what we're doing.
I guess we're watching KPop Demon Hunters. Yeah. And so I basically, I was looking for something to do. I threw on, it's hard. It's not calibrated well yet. And I was trying to figure out something easy. And I threw on Lord of the Rings 4K, right?
Okay.
And I couldn't dial in my colors right. It looked crisp as hell, but I was trying to get the colors right. So I'm not quite there. And I'm like, I need something that is a 4-quadrant thing that is very easily so I'm like, animated. Great.
Yeah.
I put on Netflix. Nando said K-pop Demon Hunters is dope. So I put it on. Jamie's in the other room working on some stuff. And
she does the thing with when You're My Lollipop came on.
Yeah, the shoulders, shimmy.
Yeah. When the Saja boys started playing.
Yeah, no.
Really catchy.
She had headphones on, and so I had headphones on, so we're being both very respectful.
Yeah.
And by the time the plane sequence in the first 10 minutes is over, I paused it. I walked into Jamie's room, and I was like, K-pop Demon Hunters is dope as fuck, and I think you should stop what you're doing and come watch it. And we restarted it.
Nice.
And we watched it. This is a movie that is okay, so admittedly, you know what's great about this podcast here, this episode specifically? Neither of us, I think, know much about K-pop.
Not much at all. I there's a couple of Blackpink songs I really like.
Sure.
That's about as far as I got. No, there was actually we almost did a project involving the band TXT. And so I had to listen to, I listened to a bunch of stuff then.
You're not into BTS?
And I don't know much about BTS.
You're not into Stray Kids?
No, I don't.
Not into the Twice?
No, I know.
Not into Expo? Not into any of these other bands I'm going to list off of a fucking list.
The only one I knew was BTS.
I mean, there's a lot of K-pop bands. If there's one thing I know about K-pop bands is they multiply quickly. I don't know much about it at all.
So yeah, I don't know much about K-pop. I was very aware of this movie in so much as it had climbed up the charts as Netflix #1 streaming product over the course of a few days, and was aware kind of maybe in the same way that when we did Neja 2, it was there is this global phenomenon that is happening that we should be aware of in cinema and just at the very least check out. Not least of which it is produced by Sony Animation, who of course did the Spider-Verse movies, and seemingly has some of the same stylings to it. I just went to see a Pixar movie over the last couple of days, so Elio with my son, and so it was interesting to note that there is a sort of brand awareness that is happening between Sony Animation and Pixar at this point. But I don't know a lot about K-pop. And then the interesting thing is I just came back from New Zealand, as we mentioned in previous episodes, and while I was there, the sort of great thing that happens is my son and my niece basically stick to each other like glue, and they are the prime demographic for this movie.
Okay.
And there's two things that happens there. One is that they watched it by themselves. I was in the room, but not really paying attention.
Was this before or after I asked to do it on the podcast? That they
this was before.
Okay, that's what I figured.
Yeah, so it was playing. I was working on something, so I was just like overhearing their conversation, and it's really fun to listen to my son and my niece kind of talk together because they're of that age. And I don't know if you're aware of this thing, like they are Gen Alpha and we are millennials or boomers.
We're millennials. We're the well, I imagine that Alpha calls us boomers, but if we want to go into the colloquialisms of what the generations are called.
Yeah. And then so the whole game right now is if you have kids around that age and you are of our age, is you try using some Gen Alpha slang.
Oh God.
And like you talk about skibbity and being lit and Sephora and slaying.
I don't think lit is Gen Alpha.
It might not be. I don't know.
Think so. The other ones are.
The point is, it's actually not in their regular day-to-day vernacular.
No.
And the other point is you could use it completely correctly in any sentence, but it doesn't matter because the point is that the fact that you are an older person using it is what is so cringe about it. So
some might say the use of cringe at our age is cringe.
Yeah, everything about us is cringe.
Yeah.
So I found it fun to listen in as they were watching it without my presence involved and just seeing what parts they actually took delight in. And my son's response to this movie was, it's okay, it's pretty good. The thing is but the music is banging. The music is banging.
Soundtrack is dope. So it's performed by, I believe, members of the K-pop band Twice for the girls, and I don't know the ones for the gentlemen. I'm sorry that I don't have I don't have.
There are people screaming at us right now because K-pop fans.
Email us in, onlymoviepodcast@gmail.com. Give us all the information that we could not look up before this show.
And you should title every email "Okay Boomer."
Yeah.
Every single email you send to us should be "Okay Boomer" at this point, and we will accept that. Could you tell us what K-pop Demon Hunter is about?
The Hunters, plural.
Yeah.
The Internet Movie Database says, quote, a world-renowned K-pop girl group balanced their lives in the spotlight with their secret identities as Demon Hunter.
I thought a lot about the Minecraft movie when I finally watched this.
No.
Yes, I did. I thought a lot about the Minecraft movie in a couple of ways. One is acknowledging at some point that I've thought a lot about friends of mine who are dads who have daughters who are slightly older than my son, so in the sort of 13 to 14-year-old range, who have taken their kids in the last few years to Taylor Swift concerts and have basically been like, this is cool, and just sit in the back and be like, look, you guys go have a good time. I'm here if you need me, but there's this sort of distinction about it. And, I like Taylor Swift and what have you. But I kind of really felt that when I watched the Minecraft movie, which was like, yeah, this is cool. I'll be back here if you need me. But, have a good time. And a lot with this movie as well, the K-pop Demon Hunter, which is like, yeah, this is cool. I'll just hang back if you need me. I think some of this was really cool.
I can see the Minecraft movie having you do that. This movie has a story. So I kind of...
Does it though?
Yeah, it's not a complex story, but it has one.
And I will freely admit this, which is that when you mentioned to watch it, the only window I had to watch it, I was suffering from extreme jet lag. Our flight back, which was only supposed to be like 15 hours, which is a hell of a long time, ended up taking over 24. Including a layover in Boston, by the way, that lasted 7 hours.
Oh, you parked the car in Harvard Yard and paid the guy a quarter.
We were in the Boston airport by ourselves entirely.
I've been there.
Yeah.
It sucks. Sorry.
And we did that for a few hours. So when I watched this movie, I was suffering from extreme jet lag, and there were moments where I'd clearly dozed off. I would stop and rewind and go back and rewatch things. And then I was like watching things piecemeal because I was like, wait, I missed this plot point being resolved. Did it actually happen? And I had to have to go back and watch just that plot point being resolved. So I apologize in advance if again, email us in at onlymoviepodcast. Okay, Boomer. I will freely accept any vitriol that comes my way. My opinion. I thought the story to this was fine. I think I had a hard time getting over the sort of seemingly sanitized view of the music industry in this way, which is obvious what you need to do for a movie that is targeted at kids, which is like, the fans are we do this only for the fans, and we're entirely in charge. There's no music. There's not a music label executive in sight.
I know
in this movie,
of course, and that is obviously an issue when using this as an allegory for the real world. What I really liked about it though is it turned that blindness, it turned that whole thing like for the fans into essentially an important plot point, because the fans' admiration and energy is what helped create I forget the name of the force field that like stops the demons from entering the world. The
Hanman.
Hanman?
Yeah. But it's the K-pop band that creates the force field.
No, they utilize the spirit energy from everyone's adoration, and it's like it's symbiotic relationship. Okay. So like the way that I really liked it, and kind of, even though there aren't any record executives in this, the Saja boys essentially are the representation of what happens when the fandom gets poisoned by badness. You could look at it as corporatism. You could look at it a couple of the ways. I mean, the Demon King Guima, I believe, by Lee Bung Han, who was the voice actor for it. The whole thing is he gets their souls if demons take them, and demons have to break into the world to take souls and feed him. And so he realizes that they realize that the music of these three girls throughout time in different bands and different musical alignments is causing the Hunman to stop demons coming in. So what does he do? He decides to make essentially a demon boy band, which when that happened, I was just like, yeah, let's fucking go.
Well, it's actually Jin, the lead boy band member,
who comes up with the thing.
Yeah.
Also love the evil devil pilgrim vibes. It's funny. And that is some traditional stuff in that
in Korean culture.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the concept of bands, good or ill, using their fandom for good or evil is a really interesting sort of subtext for me. For this movie.
Look, I'm the sort of immediate reaction to the sort of lack of authenticity to the way that as I understand, K-pop bands are really manufactured and put together. And I'm told, I remember reading somewhere along the lines that it's actually a very difficult industry, that it is
grueling, it is borderline abusive. It probably is a lot of abuse going on at the same time.
And the film sanitized that. I'm very aware though that part of the sort of the mythology of K-pop bands require, and particularly targeted at the audience that this is actually targeted at, requires that level of veneer or sheen to kind of like make this actually work.
And it's doing a parody of the entire experience too. Like there's all the different kinds of overly obsessed fans. They're like playing for jokes too. There's the ones that are always crying. There's the ones that need to have everything signed. There's the ones that are like, we really respect them, but they know they need to rest, so we really hope they come back soon. And you're like, yeah, like it's the familiarity.
I found the storytelling, just the sort of maneuvering of the storytelling in terms of like making all that make sense, both very cute, and two, surprisingly sincere.
Yeah.
Like I didn't feel that the film was cynical about the way that it was trying to do things. It was very sincere, and it had a sort of deep admiration for what K-pop bands are and the actual sort of way that the mythology works. But it does make them, it's kind of the other thing that I thought about was Jim and the holograms. Like in terms of
again, this is everything new is once was old, or I don't know.
Just in terms of the way that like that portrays the music world as
like clean
as like
does it? I haven't watched much Gem.
Yeah, it just has a veneer of like
wasn't there a scummy record executive in Gem?
I don't know if there was. Well, maybe write us in. Okay, boomer.
Well, no, we should know that.
We should know that because we are boomers.
We're not boomers though. We're millennials. We're the world's oldest millennials.
Either way. I found all of that to be really sincere and surprisingly, particularly around the lead character of Rumi and her dilemma of being both half demon and half human.
Played by Arden Cho.
Yeah. I actually found that told very sincerely. And it actually worked for me. Now the film kind of like, for me, as you say, narrative wise kind of just happened very, very quickly and gets from A to B without much surprise in it. But and this is where I'm like dad at the back of the concert kind of thing. Like, go have a good time. I'm glad that you had a good time with this. I actually, as I heard it, I was like, a lot of these tracks are bangers.
I've been listening to the soundtrack fairly nonstop. Also, Mira and Zoe are the other two of the three main girls in Huntrix.
Yeah.
Played by Mei Hong and Ji Young Yo. And I was really captivated not only by the music, but also the combination of the Sony Pictures sort of Spider-Verse-esque style of animating on the twos. Is that what it is?
There's a whole lot of combinations of things happening here.
But then also the combination of the art style with other like sort of traditional manga like trappings in a highly polished way.
Yeah.
And every like when they're eating or when they're surprised or when
abs.
oh my god, when they see abs, it's just corn and popcorn and thing. And like it's so just joyful to watch.
Yeah.
And it's fun because it cranks emotions in a moment to 11, and that's kind of what you want in an animated thing. And then it goes right back to very stylish fights with like laser blades and shit. And like, I don't know. I really enjoyed the time I spent watching K-pop Demon Hunters. I thought that it was just clever enough. Yeah. It was just basic enough. And the animation and the music just fucking carried it the entire way for me. I love that the three girls in Huntrix are basically like, you know, obviously they're archetypes. But I love there was something in the beginning of the movie that really hit me. And it's when they're on the plane and the manager is showing them different fans who are saying hi to them.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, we love you guys. And the girls go, we love you too. And then there's a bunch of people crying like, oh, I can't believe we're seeing it. And then they cry, oh, and then there's one person who holds up, they're like, oh, I just got my new tattoo. And two of the girls are like, and I believe it's Mira just goes, sick. Yeah. And I was like, that was the moment where I was like, oh, I'm happy that each of these girls is going to feel like a different person.
Yeah, they really do play up the angle. Although I was waiting for was it Yumi to actually not Yumi, I was
Rumi,
really
Mira,
apologies in
and Zoe.
advance. Yeah. I was really waiting for Zoe to like break into a rap because they started out with like
talk about her
like
rapping
when she gets
skills.
dark, she gets really dark because she went to Burbank.
Yeah.
You know, I was really waiting for that moment, but I don't think it happened. And also,
it kind of does in Takedown because she writes a lot of Takedown, but it's a little bit in the background.
Yeah. But you're 100% correct, which is that there is a sort of clear delineation of who each character is. There's also, there's a thing, and I guess this is the way that K-pop works, which is that while there is certainly an archetype, I'm trying to choose my words very carefully here. While there is an archetype of sexuality that is, like put on display for the way the girls need to dress and act and behave and what have you, and the sort of male sort of androgynous sexuality, I guess, or even femininity. In a way, there's a kind of an interesting thing, which is that it doesn't feel sexualized at all, which I think is actually cool. And again, I'm thinking about that as a 12-year-old girl was watching this, and making sure that they're not watching something that actually like distorts or warp. Now, obviously, all images can kind of do that anyway.
Sure. And there's you could talk if you wanted to, although it's played for a lot of comedy about like the abs on the guys. And they're all just gorgeous.
They're all beautiful. And the hair, the main thing was the hair. But the other thing I think that I really liked is that my 9-year-old son and I could watch it and not, there's not that sort of concern about like, what are they wearing kind of thing. There was just like, oh, that's, what they were. And there's a sort of non-sexualized way that this is all put on display. Again, I'm speaking that of a person who has a very, very peripheral knowledge of like how K-pop operates.
Sure.
And I'm speaking about that in a way that is different to, for example, hip hop, which has leaned very much into its, into overt sexuality. And so just sort of noting that as well. So I like the design of the film. I like the sort of messaging. Oh, no, sorry. Actually, no. As far as messaging goes, I was sort of like neither here nor there. But as far as the storytelling went, I actually kind of like the idea. There was a point. The thing that I had fallen asleep on was when I watched it, when I listened to the film being played the first time, I was aware of the Jin reveal, like what had actually happened with that character in terms of like what that character says versus what that character actually believes. Jinyu.
Yep.
But when I was watching it, essentially for the second time, I had obviously slipped through that and then had to go back and rewatch that. And I was like, is this how this happened? So I think if you watch it for a first time, that would actually be impactful. I don't know. I mean, did the reveal of like what it means to be a demon in terms of living with shame.
I thought it was fucking cool as hell. And then before he set up to basically be like when they're starting to fall in love a little bit.
Yeah.
She's trying to be like, well, you're not a bad person. You were trying to save you, whatever. You're saving your family and whatever and da 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 da.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's kind of lame.
Yeah.
Like, I hope that's not it. And then it wasn't it. He like actively abandoned and left his family to a terrible fucking existence. And that's why he's a demon.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah. Whereas I was like, that's cool.
No, I don't know. I bought in. I really, I don't know what it was. I think I'm just a sucker for the style of this movie. Like just everything about it felt so slick.
Yeah. The other side of this is I like this more as a musical than I did Wicked, for example.
Really?
Yeah, I liked it actually as a musical. I thought this was a really, really great musical. Like I like the numbers that were that were on display. The other thing is Wicked was close to 3 hours. Is that right? Or two and some change?
Close, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's only half a movie.
Yeah, this is like, and it's only half a movie. This is 1 hour and 30. And I was like, yeah. Bang, 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 bang. I like this song. I like that song. Great song. Moving on.
Yeah.
And so I actually like, as a musical, I was really into this. And that's not a dig at musicals. I actually think this is really well told as well. And then, obviously, unlike Wicked, or in terms of operating as a musical, the music is actually a key part of the story.
Right.
So it matters what they're saying and writing. But there are musical numbers in this where I was like, that's just really cool. And I appreciated it as like a functional musical.
What I liked about it too is in the music, it does feel very, very, I mean, obviously it's in the title, but very, very K-pop. Like the way that good K-pop works, especially at least the stuff that I've heard in English, is it's incredibly clever lyrically.
Yeah.
And I think you see that the most, in my opinion, through the songs How It's Done and Soda Pop.
Yeah.
And how it's done,
so great.
And how it's done is so cool because many of the words keep meaning other things.
Yeah.
Like I loved like knock you out like a lullaby. I thought was a really fucking sick like line because it's like, oh yeah. And then that, you're being both whoever they're talking to, like you're done and now it's done. Like they use a lot of multi-use words in the things. There's something about, nails, hair, something, mascara, gotta look good for my Napalm Era. I was like, Jesus Christ. And there was a line of like, that felt very current, especially for, Gen Alpha stuff. There's a line, because like we're used to in Cinderella, mirror, mirror on the wall. No, Snow White. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all. And the line in the song is mirror, mirror on my phone.
Yeah.
And it was like, and you're just like, oh yeah, because like, I don't know. There's lots of really clever lyricism with specifically. I really feel like it's How It's Done, Soda Pop, take down a little bit. Soda Pop is interesting because I thought way too much about the song Soda Pop by the Saja Boys.
Yeah.
So
you're my soda pop.
Yeah, it's obviously like just a poppy.
It's just a bop.
Banger.
Yeah.
But also, if you think about it, it's a little insidious too, because they're talking about soda, which is a beverage that is intrinsically bad for you. I drank a Coke while we recorded the last episode, so I know.
Yeah.
And the way that they talk about it is something that is addictive and like is bad for you, but it tastes so good. And like all this, like it's again, these aren't like crazy, like, whoa, I never thought your mind blown. But like, there's a level of care in a lot of K-pop and in this movie that in my opinion, a lot of current day Americanized pop music doesn't have. And I really, really enjoyed that mixed with all the other trappings that we've just sort of.
I guess you could sort of think about it in sort of similar terms to A Star Is Born, which is that a movie that is essentially about country music.
I want to see A Star Is Born in this style animation.
No, but like, okay,
I know, I'm not kidding.
Yeah. But in terms of like the way that is a movie about the music industry, but it has songs on it that are clearly written by people for that film, but those songs happen to be a great reflection of what the music industry is. And you can listen to it on its own because it's done. Like there's that thing where in movies about movies, you often watch the movies that they're making. I wouldn't watch that. In this case, it was like, this is a movie about a K-pop band where you're like, I actually really like the songs in this.
I tried to rewatch Tropic Thunder for the Screen Drafts podcast that I was on.
Yeah.
And that movie for me, and I won't speak to anyone else, does not hold up.
Really?
I was shocked. I turned it off. I was watching it and I was like, I used to love this.
I did rewatch it a couple years ago, I think. And I think more, I watched it as a time capsule with an appreciation for the way that film handles Robert Downey Jr.'s character as a question of like, man, we couldn't get away with this today.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I kind of just appreciated it on that level. At any rate, there's another thing here, which I think has to do with, what you were just talking about in terms of, the Cinderella lyric, like mirror, mirror on my phone, that kind of thing. But also, spending time with my two, the
youngins in your family.
Yeah, how old? They're not teenagers. They're
tweens.
I don't want to say preteens because that makes me anxious about how quickly my son is aging. But there's a couple more years because it's 13 is the year you hit a teen. I guess,
right? Like that's when you become a teenager.
Anyway. I also took those kids to see Superman. And it's interesting because these kids have, your
bones are dust.
They have so much choice in the media that they can watch. They are no longer as attached to things as we once were because we were so limited in choice.
Sure.
So, there's an interesting factor there, which is that they watch this with a sort of like, man, that was fun. Cool. Moving on. And, almost a sort of swipe quality to it. And Superman does not carry the same weight for them in any way.
No, of course not. Because Superman is not, everything that they've seen comes from, in a weird way, in superhero media, Superman. So, like, it's...
But also, like, Marvel movies don't mean the same thing to them in terms of, like, they don't attach themselves to any characters.
I don't think many people are attaching themselves to the characters right now.
With longevity, like the way that we were in some way. Like, for me, it was Batman. For you, I think it was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I don't think they do that as much anymore. So watching this through the lens of just efficiency, that the way the movie kind of like does what it does so quickly, gets out, and it is so inoffensive in terms of like doing anything like really mean. And that's kind of where the comparison to the Minecraft movie comes to play for me as well, which is that it's, like, I don't resonate with the Minecraft movie in any particular way, but I also appreciate that it's doing what it does very well and very quickly and very efficiently. And it is designed in a way to get in and out of what, its storytelling modes without much lingering. And I think I liked that about this film as well.
I liked the Minecraft movie for the reasons that you said.
Yeah.
I am insulted that you would compare the two films.
Because you loved K-pop Demon Hunter.
I kind of did. Yeah. And I think that there's something more special for me about K-pop Demon Hunters, and I think it's the combination of all the things. It's the simple but yet I think still emotionally resonant story. It's about
the aesthetics of it are
gorgeous.
Yeah, incredible.
And look, the Minecraft movie was also fun to look at.
Yeah.
But it was also like the blockiness of it and the villains with the giant pigs and things like that. Like it was kind of ugly in a blocky way.
Yeah. Whereas this is beautiful.
And that's fine. And this is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And I loved the treatment of the demon world. I loved that it's metaphysically right under whatever the surface is. And the Hunyun is the thing. It's like a net that keeps them through, and sometimes they can break through.
Yeah.
I also love that the girls just like instantly knew when things were demons. When they're on their plane and their stewardess is pouring coffee into the plant. Yeah. I'm just like, this is great.
I think I really like the fact that, and I think this is also very smart in this, which is that it has got these three characters that you could treat all, like as perfect figures. And the movie knows to like have to be self-effacing. You know, like their eyes widen. They become childlike at some point.
They become gremlins.
They become gremlins, popcorn flies. They eat food like with sort of great abandon.
They're also, it's weird. Like, obviously,
all of this is contradictory to what we know of the industry.
Of course.
But
the thing I also liked about them too is they felt like people, because like a lot of them many times at least said they wanted downtime. My quote at the beginning of this podcast should have been couch, because like they were supposed to go on break and like before they realized it because of the Saja boys, they had to kind of like keep stepping it up.
Yeah.
And I love that like all they wanted to do was just like fucking veg for a little bit, because I could like, I don't know, that just it's such a like I love
so wholesome.
Yeah.
They're so wholesome.
Yeah. I don't know. This movie, I was so shocked how much, like I would watch it again right now.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. I really do want someone who is well vested in K-pop as a genre to chime in on this. But I genuinely think that even people who are like well vested in the world will see this as like, you know, a really fun, sincere way. And I think the animation lends itself to that as well. The fact that it's not like a Star is Born, you know, like an expose into the industry. It is designed to be a glossy pop.
Yeah, it's pop music.
Yeah, pop music version of the, you know, and celebrating kind of both the campiness of it all and the joy of it all, you know, like with the fans and what have you.
I think it's interesting what you're saying about like not talking about like the actual reality or the corporatization of what K-pop actually is, and it doesn't.
Yeah, and I think it would be wrong for it.
Yeah.
The reason it works is the fact that it doesn't.
But I think if I'm going to be charitable a little bit, I would say that the way that it handles the demons, and specifically the demon boy band, is sort of it could be taken as commentary on the industry and falsehood in the industry. Like what I think people want to believe is that the industry is like Huntrix. They're these people that love it and want to do it for the fans, etc. And what the industry really is probably closer to the Saja boys, which is you're doing it for money or clout, or in this case, souls to take them and have a ulterior motive, right? Ulterior motive. And so while it is not doing it like as a corporatization thing, you could read the demons and the Saja boys as a representation of that. And again, here's sort of the interesting part. That's how, in my opinion, one way anyway, not the only way. Since this is a kid's movie, it feels like, or a young adult movie.
Yeah.
That is a way you can start like sprinkling in those ideas of like, okay, well, like what are the demons doing? Oh, they're trying to corrupt the audience. They're trying to corrupt the fans. Now, granted, for fantastical reasons, but like there's something that could be said there. Again, I'm not trying to convince you, but like, the problem with K-pop in the real world is the inauthenticity and the damage that can happen in that world.
Right.
The demons in this movie are inauthentic and cause a lot of damage in that world.
Yeah.
Again, is it a perfect analogy? No. Could I look at it and be like, oh, well, yeah, like that works too, like that? I could say yes. Again, I don't think the movie is interested in like teaching you that, but as a subtext, I appreciated it.
Sure. I think it would be a case where you'd need to come up with a compelling through line to like really convince me of that argument, other than maybe it's there, you know, kind of thing. But you know, like if my son, I enjoyed this film. I enjoyed watching this film with my son, who watched it twice. And, you know, our biggest takeaway was like, should I grow my hair as long as Yuri's? You know, like
you actually could do the top of it.
I could do the top of it, but I was like, but that was our biggest takeaway of this movie, and it was like, you know, like what
of
was
Rumi's
here, and it was like nothing more than that, you know, like, and I think it is for me, it was like a really fun gateway into like where K-pop could really be fun for me personally, and I was like, yeah, I'm a boomer. I'm gonna sit back at the back of the theater and be like, cool. Have a good time, kids.
Hey, listen.
I'll be napping back here.
Did you watch White Lotus season 3?
I did not.
Oh.
I've not watched any White Lotus.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa from Blackpink is in White Lotus season. I was trying to connect it to a thing you may have seen, but that doesn't really work.
They did a song with Selena Gomez called Ice Cream.
Sure.
Which I liked.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got. I don't know anything about BTS. I don't know anything about anything, really.
I do know, I did like seeing some of the voice cameos here. Obviously, Ken Jeong played Bobby.
I figured it was Ken Jeong at some point, yeah.
And then Sun Woon Cho played the Abs Saja boy, which was really, really fun.
Yeah.
Pro ZD or DZ. I always get that mixed up. YouTuber.
Daniel Day Kim was in this, which is fantastic. Joel Kim Booster. Liza Koshy, I was one of the hosts. And Sang-Won Chu, as you mentioned, as the Saja.
It's so I don't
he
know.
has he's a voiceover actor, and one of the deepest, most masculine voices that he uses for like silly things, which I love.
He has truly mastered the YouTube thumbnail game.
Yeah,
he has 3 thumbnails he's used for 10 years, and he rotates through them for almost every video.
Isn't that what we do for our thumbnails?
No, it is not. It's great. Look, if we haven't convinced you yet to watch K-pop Demon Hunters, I wish we could play a song. We can't because that would convince you, I think.
Yeah, we actually are getting a couple of copyright slams right now.
It's funny. There's only one. So on the YouTube side of things, there's only one that is we cannot post. The others are.
Which was the one we can't post?
It was a short. It was I don't even think it was for music.
Oh, okay.
The other ones, for instance, for the Star Wars episodes, for the Kroll Kroll.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, this is copywritten, and I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
But then it says, but the copyright holder lets you do it, and I was like, oh,
okay, cool.
Okay, so there's a couple of those.
I think it's the case of we can't monetize those ones or something.
No, you
like
can.
That. Oh. Because there is an episode that we did on movies, music and movies, where they picked up every piece of music, and I think I have to go through and make a claim there that this is
you actually don't like it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Also, we are so far away from being able to monetize on YouTube that it doesn't matter.
I got my favorite email, which I forwarded on to you this week.
Oh, really?
Which was like the app that we're using to upload to YouTube. Sent us a weekly summary, and it was like, you have received 1 view this week, and I was like, we are on our way.
But that's not true. We actually, I can pull up the stats right now. It's not doing terrible for our weird content plan. Listeners, I don't know. Now we're going to get into a little bit of inside baseball here, but like the way we are up. We are currently up on subscribers. Every one of the things that we load, that we start and put up now, and there's one launching every day now,
right,
from the back catalog because we're trying to get ahead.
I have the email in front of me, and the log line here is your video's got 1 view.
But it's literally not true. Like it could have been for one of them. Deadpool, our Deadpool review from 9 years ago or whatever, has a bunch of views. The Art of the Deal has a few. Hail Caesar has 33 for some reason.
Yeah, baby.
So like
Coen Brothers.
Look, it's doing work. It's not doing it fast enough. If you'd like to subscribe, please help us out and then email us in and let us know that you did help us out. Sorry, we got a little bit sidetracked there, but it's the dark underbelly of the podcasting game that you don't hear us talk about a lot, much like K-pop Demon Hunters doesn't talk about the dark underbelly of the K-pop industry.
That's 100% correct.
See?
And do we have enough to say about it? I don't know. I enjoyed it. I had a great time at this.
It's funny. I do wish I had more to say about it other than I really did enjoy it. And I think other people will too. I think that it's one of those movies. I think this will be a shorter episode, but I think the interesting bit that I found is that I want to reiterate that I had zero expectation of this. Look, I respect everybody who told me it was awesome, and Nando's opinion does mean a lot to me. But I did sort of see the image. The first thing I saw of this movie was stills. It was someone on Reddit, some chud on Reddit, complaining about how the girls looked like ugly when they ate, and I was like, fuck off, man.
Right, yeah.
It looks silly and weird, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But like it also seemed like a real anime type thing that I would not be down with.
Yeah.
Like, not that I don't like anime, I like anime a lot, but like it's not a aesthetic that I gravitate toward.
Yeah.
I take a little insult to the way that they were complaining about it, but because like if you don't like something, then cool, shut up. Why do you have to like tell everyone like this isn't a this isn't an airport. You don't have to, what is it? You don't have to announce, you don't have to announce you're leaving.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't like gunning for this one. And to be perfectly honest, even though Netflix at this point has a really, really good animation pedigree between Arcane and Blue-Eyed Samurai and Castlevania, like I think that they know how to work with studios, or at least fund smart studios to do animation. And I watched it sort of just on a lark with the projector test, and then I really fell in love with this movie.
Yeah.
Like I truly think that the way it is displayed, and the action and the colors and the music and the very saccharine and simple yet fun message.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just a sucker for demon boy bands. I don't know.
I also want to point this out because a designer that we work with had mentioned this earlier in regards to the Spider-Verse films, but there is a sort of generalized aesthetic that has happened between Spider-Verse, Puss in Boots, this film, and something else that we have talked about on the show as well. I can't recall which.
Puss in Boots, actually, I believe one of the two directors, Chris Applehans or Maggie Kang, was
a creative consultant on as well. But the person that if you're interested in just in terms of how that art style developed, the person to go look at is Alberto Mielgo, who was a visual consultant on Spider-Verse. But I think there's some mild controversy around this, which is that he was removed from the project, but then the project took on his style anyway. So if you go look at his work, you can kind of see like the origins of that style. It's really beautiful stuff. You can see it in the film. And then again, that sort of style has permeated itself into everything that Sony Animations do at this point as well. And has become a kind of prevailing style for new animation as well, which what I love about that sort of overall design aesthetic, like Kanye mentioned in the way that when the girls eat, the movie oscillates, has a sort of freewheeling oscillation between reality, like a sort of structured reality of how things work, to like unreality, and it can switch either way because that's what animation can do. And it's like Pixar, in a way, I love Pixar movies, by the way, but Pixar in a way kind of set the foundation for like, there is one set of rules for how things work, and we need to retain consistency within that.
They don't have a lot of the cartoon element of animation in Pixar, if that makes like, and by that I mean like Looney Tunes-esque changes in structure for emotional or comedic effect.
Yeah, and so Alberto Mielgo is certainly one of the artists you can look at in terms of starting out that conversation, just seeing how that style evolved. Also, I think you would be into a lot of his work. He did a lot of the animation for Watch Dogs, for example, for Ubisoft. So really, really, really cool animator, really cool designer. And it's I do find it fascinating that style has permeated out into something that we see all the time. Now, in terms of this, we sort of talked about the phenomenon that is this movie. It is worth noting that like, a lot of the metrics that say that this is the number one movie on the planet right now is based on Netflix's own internal.
No one said it's the number one movie on the planet right now.
I mean, it kind of is mentioned in that way. And it's based on metrics that Netflix puts out, like the fact that 33 million people watch this movie, but on the Netflix platform. So whether that holds much water for you versus when we talked about Neja 2, for example.
Oh yeah, no.
Which had made $2 billion at the box office. And when we talked about Neja 2, there's a sort of cultural phenomenon to that as well, which is that it's such a huge movie outside of the Hollywood system.
Here's what I will say. Rotten Tomatoes, 96 fresh and then 91 audience.
Everyone loves it. It's like it's hard not to like this movie. And a lot of that, again, also comes down to, while the story is light and slight, it also is not demanding.
No,
like it is quick in and out and you're done. And I think that for me, maybe in my old age, plays for a lot. And I am here for that. So I really did have a good time with that. I would listen to the soundtrack to this. I think it's fun. I would be interested in hearing critiques of this that go beyond, I like the story or I like the animation. I'd like to hear critiques of this in many different directions, maybe even ones that would help us enjoy it even further. But as it stands right now, I like you was delighted by what I saw here.
I think there's stuff too that like I didn't pick up and I've only learned through reading IMDb, etc. Like for instance, Saja it means lion. That's why it's their logo. But at the same time, they're in Korean folklore. There's the Jiaoxia. I'm going to butcher this. The Jiao Xiong Saja, which are Grim Reaper figures who escort the souls of the dead to the afterlife. And typical depictions of them show them wearing a black hanbok and a gat, which is that wide brimmed hat.
Yeah.
There are cultural elements that I'm not picking up on in this movie too, which this is sort of a telltale sign of a film whose art direction and structure is really, really on solid ground. You feel that everything is referencing something or very locked into what you are doing. It's thoughtful.
Yeah.
You can pick up on that thoughtfulness even if you're not familiar with the specific mythology or not ideology, but like the history or the culture that it is based on. I feel like another really great thing, although it's a Pixar film, I believe, is Turning Red.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's always really, really nice to watch something that you don't know about, know that there is intent in what you are watching, and then be interested enough to go back and learn about the things that you actually didn't know, but you were picking up on that were there in that thing. I think that's really fun.
Yeah. This was great.
It's a good movie. You should watch it. You should watch the movie. I think that's all I have to say.
That's all we got to say on this
I had one more point. I was this close to ending the podcast. I was like, oh, wait, there's a whole nother thing. And now I'm blanking.
It is late at night. We are banking episodes. It's summer. It's hot. This is the perfect summer spritzer, right?
This would be a great movie for to watch like in a park on a big screen with like a bunch of people. Like that. Actually, this isn't what I was going to say, but this kind of goes back. This would be a really great movie theater movie.
Yeah, and you know what would be great about it as well? I went to the Taylor Swift Eras movies when they were played. And the fun thing there was like, I went to like a midday screening with my kid, and kids were running up and down the aisles, getting up, like as songs are playing and singing and dancing with it and stuff. I think this would be a really fun movie to watch with kids who have learned all the songs, learned all the choreography, and are just like having a great time. And honestly, I will sit in the back of the theater and I might be napping, but I'm here in spirit.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'd be running up and down the aisle. I don't know. If it was socially appropriate, I would be doing it.
It does look a little odd with you when you do the moves.
You know what's so funny?
Your hip thrusts aren't quite as agile.
Wearing a Super Famicom hat all the time makes people think I'm younger than I am, which is strange. Like, and I was doing an RPG fest and I was talking to some of the people as we were leaving it. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm redacted. Yeah. I'm in my 40s. And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, the Nintendo hat does a lot of work. I think it's not that my face looks young. It's just this asshole's wearing a Nintendo hat all the time.
I should try. You know what? Okay. So we are getting off the episode here. One is I look as old as I am, if not older, because I am grayed up as fuck right now. But the other thing is I started wearing hats and I decided I'm a hat person.
Hats are great.
I'm wearing wide brimmed hats. And what's great about a hat is I can undo my hair underneath it. So then I have long.
You should wear a gat.
You sure?
That's the hat that they were wearing.
I can wear long hair out underneath it, so it actually like has some sort of like shape to it somewhere. Oh, I'm a hat guy now.
You should go as Raiden for Halloween.
Does Raiden have long hair?
Well, Christopher Lambert version does.
Sure. Okay.
And then in Annihilation, he gets a haircut because it's a new actor and it sucks.
I might be getting a haircut at some point.
No!
Anyway.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, this has been the only podcast about the film K-Pop Demon Hunters. Before we end it real quick, and I'll ask Shahir about where folks can find him. I know you don't watch trailers, Shahir, but something happened, and I need to talk about it very briefly.
Okay. What was the trailer?
Mortal Kombat 2.
No, I haven't seen a trailer, but I saw a thumbnail for Carl Urban as
Johnny Cage.
As Johnny Cage.
I want to be excited for this movie. Okay. I want it more than I've wanted to be excited about a film in a long time.
Is he good?
Yeah, well, he's fine.
Yeah.
The rest of the movie just looks bad. But
wasn't the trailer like
No.
A movie trailer for
that's
his
one
movies?
of the two trailers that has dropped.
Okay, yeah.
That's fun and silly and whatever. And I was like, and then I saw the trailer for the movie, actual Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
And I see, there's so many people who are Mortal Kombat fans. And they're like, this looks so stupid. I can't wait. And I'm like, okay. Yeah. And I think I go back to like why I think the 95 movie is just such a perfect adaptation.
This is really a hill you've decided to die on.
I think this is my definitive take.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. Is there any property for you or any film that like you saw stuff for it and you're like, man, I want to love this. And you kind of know that you're not gonna.
Oh, no. The one, I mean, the immediate thought that came to mind, and this is going to come into play because there is a trailer for the new version of this, is Tron Legacy. So Tron Legacy is a movie I watch with just jaw open in terms of how beautiful that film actually looks. And I love the Daft Punk soundtrack. Joseph Kosinski directed that, who directed Top Gun Maverick.
Great in 3D.
It's not a good movie.
It uses 3D in a narrative concept, and I really, really, really enjoy it.
Not a good movie. And I watch it every time going, I really want to love this. I really, really want this to be my thing. I want to take my son to Disneyland where they have the Tron Legacy ride. Tron Ares is coming out soon. And I do that thing in a movie theater, which is I put my headphones in or I put my head down when the trailer is on. But I've heard the Nine Inch Nails, track on that. I'm like, oh, this is going to be look, whether this movie is good or not, I just want the feeling, the aesthetics of this movie to like wash over me in a way that I'm completely enveloped.
Starring your close personal friend, Jared Leto.
Starring Jared Leto as like the Tron. Is that right? Or something like that?
He's the Tron.
He is the Tron. That's what the films are about, right?
You know what else Jared Leto is in? Sorry, now we're just going on tangents.
There's something else I saw.
Do you want to know? You want to know another one? I'm fucking...
Oh, Master of the Universe.
Yeah, you know
he's playing Skeletor, right?
Fuck my life.
What if he's great?
He won't be.
What if he's great? Hottest takes. I didn't hate his Joker. That is like another hot take.
What?
I think
Snyderverse bullshit are you smoking? You leave the country for a couple weeks and you come back in this red-pilled nonsense.
Man of Steel is better than James Gunn's Superman.
Oh God.
Jared Leto's Joker is not the worst thing ever. What else can we throw in here?
Shahir, when you're not being a DCEU apologist, where can folks find you?
You can find me traversing all the way to the new 6-hour cut of the Snyderverse on my website, suvanova.com. That's SUVANOVA. Matt, when you are taking flight and as a demon in the Underworld? Sure. Whoa, where can people find you?
You can find me drinking up all the soda pop good to the last drop over at my websites, extra credits and extra history. Oh, you know what I didn't mention before? And I probably should have, and I hope this comes out before it's over. We just launched our 2026 calendar Kickstarter.
Hey, am I naked in it?
No. Although I
really shouldn't have sent you those photos.
Yeah, no.
We delete those, please?
We chose to go another way.
Okay.
But no, there's
totally fine.
It's our History Happens Everyday calendar with 100% Shahir nudity free. It is new historical fact every day from our 2025 calendar. Gorgeous art by artist David Hueso. And scannable QR codes with specific dates on the calendar so you can actually learn about history through some of our videos. Last year's campaign was so successful. This year, Shahir, we crushed our funding goal in 39 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And I think we're already up to 30K.
Imagine if they knew that there was naked Shahir in it. Imagine how quickly you would have crushed your funding.
Oh my God. Next year, you always got to shoot for something more.
Yeah, just don't shoot for that.
Listen, I would do anything for K-pop.
Do you think anyone knows that we ran out of stuff to talk about on this episode?
Oh, no, they have no idea.
And then we're stretching it out.
They have no idea.
Because we've gotten to Shahir's hair, Shahir nude.
Let me be very clear. You've gotten to Shahir's hair and Shahir nude.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, I'm happy to talk about it. Yeah.
Well, it's fine. No, I don't think anyone will notice. I think by the time this is done, they're going to keep thinking that we're talking about K-pop Demon Hunters. Again, I don't want people to think that just because we don't have much to talk about, like after 40 minutes about this movie, that it's not worthwhile. It's just fun, so you should watch it.
And we're very tired.
We're so tired. In fact, we're going to go away and go to sleep. Everybody, have a great week, and we'll talk to you next time with another movie.
With a little soda pop.
Good to the last drop. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Did we get to an hour? What did we get to?
54 minutes, baby.
That's fine.